Let's explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
One pill makes you larger and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
Whoa. What's up, everybody? Oh, that's not right either. We're doing that. We're doing this.
There we go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Culture of Change. We have a fun show planned tonight. I said in the chat, I said, we have a really fun show planned if having your head explode in rage is what you consider fun, which, you know, sometimes. We have Bill and Hillary. We have a couple super Abby. I have not watched any of this yet, except for the a few clips that Kick Dreaming put up on his Telegram channel. I watched a couple of those and have not seen the full thing. Abby watched both of them in their entirety and made supercuts for us. So thank you, Abby. Because
I had to skim because they were both released at the same time. The Oversight Committee dropped both of them at once, which I thought was kind of fun. But I did grab the best parts, I think. Of course, Hillary having her meltdown and Bill totally just denying everything. So that's kind of interesting. Should be fun.
It'll be fun. And we also have former CIA agent Stephen Cash. I think they say officer, don't they? Stephen Cash, who founded the Steady State. That we're going to go through the video put up by the researcher on X at listen_2learn. It's in the show notes. Everything we put on this show is in the show notes. And so asheandamerica.substack.com, you can grab the show notes and grab the links. But we're going to go through that video first. That one is the one you remember when that after the 2020 election, I think it was Time Magazine, that article about the shadow cabal that saved the election, and all like NGO leaders and government leaders in the elections industry, people, the public-private partnership of the elections industry, talked about how they fortified the election through combating misinformation and disinformation and, you know, basically interfering in the election. This reminds me of that, but this is happening right now. And so we're going to go through that first. Before we do that, though, we should hear from a couple of our sponsors.
Science proves that a healthy immune system is the body's first defense against the smallest of ailments to the most catastrophic. Coriolus versicolor is the most sought-after, all-natural supplement for both humans and pets to help boost the immune system. There are over 400 studies worldwide on its effectiveness in humans, including Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and now from the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine. Together, we can help reverse this terrible tide now plaguing your loved ones and give them the immune-boosting supplements that they need.
Hey there, Earthlings! I'm here on the streets of New York to tell you about something that's literally out of this world. You know, traveling between dimensions really takes it out of you, but I've found the perfect solution. My Shroom Vibe can now be your Shroom Vibe. Elevate your frequency. Get microdose capsules, gummies, and chocolate bars at myshroomvibe.com. Use code BADLANDS for 10% off your order. Trust me, galaxy hopping demands balance, and ours comes from Mother Nature. Organic, not synthetic. It's the real deal. Sai Lee, if you know what I mean. Check it out. Your frequency will thank you. Visit myshroomvibe.com. Organic goodness, not synthetic. Use code BADLANDS.
Legend says, on St. Patrick's Day, a beard without oil is just a chin with ambition. But a beard with soft disclosure beard oil, that's true treasure. Spiced vanilla, naked, smooth as a leprechaun's getaway plan. Soft enough to impress your barber, bold enough to confuse a baby goat. And this boar bristle brush tames your beard like it holds the crown coin. Every bottle is American made, which means when you buy Soft Disclosure, you're supporting 6 American small businesses. That's not luck, that's capitalism with cheekbones. And while you're at it, try our mint green deodorant, because even legends need fresh pits. Soft Disclosure, go for gold. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code TINYBRIGHT for 15% off.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Promo code does not apply to bundle discounts.
Love that. A shout out to Green Star. He is CSUSB Geochem 1. So I'm just going to call you CSU. I know we've done this before. We've already done this, but yeah, it says Green Star's a genius. Absolutely correct.
I agree. That was brilliant.
Just forget I can do that. So Soft Disclosure, not just beards and deodorant, but the lotion. I am convinced that this lotion is making my hands look younger.
Oh, dude, the tallow bar.
The hands give away your age, you know.
This is really good, by the way. The vanilla citrus. I love this one, the smell. But yeah. I don't have the tallow bar with me, but I am such a firm believer in that. It's just, this stuff is amazing. It feels so good on your skin. And I love it because it's real, all natural, and doesn't have any of that crap in it.
Yeah,
so
we know
tired
where
of
the
that.
ingredients are coming from. They're coming from American farms, American farmers, American businesses. You support at least six. I think if we really broke down the supply chain, it would be more, but at least 6 small businesses, small American businesses and farms, ranches, and exceptional products. So softdisclosure.com, promo code Badlands, and yeah, great. Everybody's giving Green Star all the love in the chat. All right. I want to take a moment of personal privilege. I've been doing that a lot lately. I feel like take a lot of, it's like I'm in Congress or something. Take a moment of personal privilege. On Saturday, I joined your husband and Jay Triet on Audio Files, and it was so much fun. Reba Hart 129 just reminded me of it, so thank you for that. And we did jam bands, and it was a blast. And I'm 7 is over. So much fun.
I saw some comments like, "We are so happy it's not just punk."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's
The comments
great.
were great. People loved it. I moved the needle with Jay Triet on jam bands, and I moved the needle with your husband on Dave Matthews.
Oh, for real?
Yes, ma'am.
That would take a lot of convincing to do.
Watch the show, Abby.
Sure.
Watch the show.
No, they do. Yeah, they do have great sound. Honestly, I'm so used to all kinds of music. I love all kinds, so it's hard for me to dislike any.
Same, except like pop country. I'm not a huge.
Oh yeah.
But
That's
other than
kinda...
that, I can probably get down. I mean, yeah, get down with any. Any music. All right. So we have, we're going to start with this, and I'm going to read the researcher's post, and then we'll play this video. We'll pause it as we go. It's about 11 minutes. Former CIA agent Stephen Cash, who founded the Steady Deep, and researcher here puts deep in parentheses on steady state. Steady Deep State helped create the DNI, the Patriot Act, and the DHS. He discusses how he returned to service during the Biden regime to help run the counterintelligence functions at DHS and to create an appropriate domestic intelligence function. I'm going to read that last bit again. To create an appropriate domestic intelligence function. Stephen again mentions that the Steady Deep State was formed to take on what he describes as the existential threat of President Trump. After years of Republicans being censored and banned from social media platforms, including Trump, Stephen says it is now a risk to speak his mind on YouTube, since I guess he doesn't control the levers of censorship any longer. Whereas 5 years ago, you could say anything you wanted. Sure, not if you were saying anything that wasn't the regime's narrative, but I guess this guy only says that. So, so the link to this is in the show notes. As I said, I also found that Time, the secret bipartisan, it was Time Magazine, February 4th, 2021, the secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. That link is in the chat. It is also in the show notes. I put it in the show notes while the ads were playing. So you have, you guys, I imagine people are going to want these links, which is why.
I love it.
And again,
I mean, I love how they called themselves the Shadow Campaign. Yeah. I mean, come on.
And this, this guy, what he says reminded me, just straight reminded me of that article. All right, here we go.
Come back to my involvement with the Steady State, but when Senator Biden won and I thought there'd be an opportunity to go back in, I did. And I came in to be senior advisor to Ken Weinstein, who's the undersecretary for intelligence at DHS. A different era. Ken had been, he's a mainstream Republican. He was a Democratic senator's staffer. I had worked with Ken when we created the DNI and we created the Patriot Act and we created DHS. He worked for Bob Mueller. He was his chief of staff. Opposite spectrum on the political, opposite ends of the political spectrum. But the chance to work for Ken jumped at that. He's a true patriot, a great American, and I don't care if he's a Republican. I'm an intel guy.
Sure.
Which leads me to thinking about this Steady State. Well, just quickly to round that one out, I ended up going to the Department of Homeland Security. I was senior advisor to Undersecretary Weinstein, and I helped him run the counterintelligence functions of the department, as well as what's called the intelligence enterprise, which is the intelligence parts of the different components of the department, such as customs or ICE or Coast Guard and the like. Frustrating. DHS is a difficult place to work. As a number of people said to me, Steve, it's not the Central Intelligence Agency. Things don't work that way here. But, we had this election.
Yeah, I know. Let's pause there. So he Senator Biden won. Why not Vice President Biden? That's weird. Biden allegedly got 81 million real lawful American votes. Hat tip Chris Paul. And he saw an opportunity to go back in. You'll hear in a second the capacity in which he goes back in. But then he says it's very frustrating. DHS doesn't work like the Central Intelligence Agency, meaning there's oversight. In DHS, you don't have the clandestine capabilities in DHS that you have here. And I'm just getting started. I paused it because of your face. So any
Oh yeah, no, right. Like the free will to just go do whatever the heck you want. That's kind of what he's admitting, is that, we couldn't do it there. It's not the same. Not like the good old boys in the CIA,
Yeah, not like the
classic,
like the good old days when we just operated without any meaningful oversight. I also like the focus on the bipartisan. He was a Republican. He's a Republican.
Yes, I noticed that.
So bipartisan. That means Republicans and Democrats are fake. It's a uniparty, and that whole thing is just meant to keep the people fighting each other about stupid shit, while the CIA runs around and does whatever the hell it wants.
Yep,
but bipartisan.
Yeah.
And I resigned on the 20th. And, I made public my resignation letter. I went back in for that job because I think helping create an appropriate domestic intelligence function in a rule of law democracy is the hardest trick in the intel book. It almost never works. We are generally the bad guys. I tell people that if you look at the old videotapes or films, I guess, of dictators taking power, they're standing on a balcony or yelling at the crowd, picturing Mussolini. Behind the dictator are always two guys. It's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or their equivalent, and it's the domestic intel guy. And the domestic intel guy puts dictators on the balcony, keeps them on the balcony. But we needed a domestic intel function.
Wow.
So I want you to remember, and I wish I had the clip. I don't think I have the clip. I should really put this clip on I think it's just going to be more and more relevant. Put it on the soundboard. The President Trump quote, the lawfare is being run by the same three-letter agencies that are running illegal psychological warfare operations on the American people, much like if they were going to overthrow a foreign government. That's what this motherfucker just described. I said I wasn't going to curse. I'm sorry.
No, but you quoted that word for word. I've cut that part out. I've cut that part out of Trump. That's early on. Isn't that his first administration?
Yeah, I have that somewhere. I'll find it and we'll play it. But yeah, but he just, I mean, I feel like we should back it up. But I mean, everybody heard it. But that's
no, but do it. It's good. It's good. He's admitting.
Yeah, the domestic intel guy puts the dictator on the balcony and keeps him there.
Yep.
Right, and they're saying, and we have to do that here. Wait, what?
Behind the dictator are always two guys. It's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or their equivalent, and it's the domestic intel guy. And the domestic intel guy puts dictators on the balcony, keeps them on the balcony. But we needed a domestic intel function in the face of a very complicated world in which overseas threats are no longer just overseas. And I wanted to be a part of trying to do that. And I was grateful for the opportunity to come back in. Faced with a presidential candidate who was making it absolutely clear, among other things, that he was planning on using the tools of national security, including domestic national security and law enforcement, against his enemies. I couldn't, in good conscience, do that. I couldn't sleep at night.
Right.
And you know, I know it doesn't really fit with the movies. In the movies, a CIA guy, sort of icy water, hard guys.
Sure.
We don't care about rules. We don't care about laws. We don't need no stinking badges. Different movie reference, but you get what I mean. It's just not true. CIA people, NSA people, FBI people, they really do care about the rules. They really do care about the Constitution. And I got to tell you, up until I resigned, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I never lost a minute of sleep thinking we were doing something that was wrong, that was not consistent with our values as Americans and with the Constitution. Thought about it a lot. In fact, people inside talk about that. Like, what do I do? What do I do? When do I resign? Well, I hit it. When do I resign? And I went into my boss. I said, I can't do this. And he understood.
Would it be safe to say there was no
So he's saying he had to resign under Trump is what he's saying.
Yep.
Okay. This guy is so crazy. And here's the thing. Here's the thing where he goes, and we have values and we would never go against anything in the Constitution. He just admitted, I think I heard him in the beginning, say he was involved in the Patriot Act, which is totally not constitutional. It violates your right to privacy beyond belief, in the name of national security, of course, right?
Of course.
And then he gets mad that he also, the one other thing he goes, and that Trump's going to use it against his enemies. No, Trump is using the law against wrongdoing, injustices. So that guy,
all right,
crazy. You've had it.
Don't forget, this persecution is being done by the same weaponized agencies that for 7 years have been running illegal psychological warfare campaigns against the American people, much as if they were trying to destabilize a foreign country.
The bro in the video just already admitted. That's what he admitted that they were doing. That they use words like fortify. I also want to play this because as I was looking for that clip, I found this one, and this is another good relevant point.
So those are the three things. You see people divide, you see people accuse, and you see people counter to the Bible or a Constitution. Those two combined. Those are the three calling cards of Satan, destroying what great men made in our Constitution and our values. So those are the three things.
Right?
Dang, I love I love how strong he is. Like, no, that is literally how they deceive you. That is what they're going to attack. Like, yeah, Quas is epic. I agree.
Yeah, but that's like, so President Trump said that, so I don't know exactly when that speech was. Do you know when that speech was?
Okay, I think he's standing outside of Mar-a-Lago. I do kind of recall. I remember that. I just don't know the time.
I'm grokking it to see if it knows when the speech was. Donald Trump's June 13th, 2023 speech in Bedminster, New Jersey.
Oh,
I've been there. It's beautiful. Delivered the day after his federal arraignment on 37 felony counts for mishandling classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. And then, yeah, it's just summarizing what he says in the video after that. So he said that in 2023. In 2021, we had this secret history of the shadow campaign. The nation was braced for chaos. Liberal groups had vowed to take to the streets, planning hundreds of protests across the country. Right-wing militias were girding for battle. In a poll before Election Day, 75% of Americans voiced concern concern about violence. Instead, an eerie quiet descended. As President Trump refused to concede, the response was not mass action, but crickets. When media organizations called the race for Joe Biden on November 7th, Jubilee broke out instead as people thronged cities across the U.S. to celebrate the Democrat process that resulted in Trump's ouster. A second odd thing happened amid Trump's attempts to reverse the result. Corporate America turned on him. Hundreds of major business leaders, many of whom had backed Trump's candidacy and supported his policy, called on him to concede. To the president, something felt amiss. It was all very strange, Trump said on December 2nd. Within days after the election, we witnessed an orchestrated effort to anoint the winner, even while many key states were still being counted. In a way, Trump was right. There was a conspiracy unfolding behind the scenes, one that both curtailed the protests and coordinated the resistance from CEOs. Both surprises were the result of an informal alliance. It's more formal than they want you to know.
Yeah, right.
Informal alliance between left-wing activists and business titans. Oh, so globalism? So global corporate communism, where you have left-wing activists as your brown shirts while you bring about the new world order?
Yep.
The pact was formalized in a terse, little-noticed joint statement of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and AFL-CIO published on Election Day. Both sides would come to see it as a sort of implicit bargain inspired by the summer's massive, sometimes destructive racial justice protests in which the forces of labor came together with the forces of capital to keep the peace and oppose Trump's assault on democracy.
Are we talking about George Floyd?
Yes,
Dear
that was the whole thing was coordinated. And they admitted it in February of 2021. Trump in June of 2023 said, there's weaponized agencies waging illegal psychological operations on the American people. They're saying, no, see, it was these left-wing activists and corporations. But the beauty of this show is that we explore the public-private partnership of it all every single week. And there really is no daylight between, if you think about, we're at war now, right? Big old war. Everybody's drumming, banging the war drums, and the bloodlust is out in full force. And you know who's making gangbusters? The defense contractors. But the only reason they can do that because of the decisions of government. You know who made gangbusters during COVID? Technology companies and politicians that bet on the technology companies as well. But because they knew the decisions of government were coming, these are not exclusive things. This is a cabal. It is a globalist cabal, and they're admitting it. So this guy is now saying, he comes around to like right now,
or playbook for a Donald Trump to come along.
That's a great statement. That is absolutely safe to say, and I think the structure of our safeguards on the intelligence and law enforcement community have an underlying assumption, which we never really question, which is that the people at the top, including the president, agree that we should be a rule of law, constitutional democracy. So we're really set up for the idea that while we may have disagreements within our bubble of democracy, none of us are questioning whether we should have democracy, whether we should have a constitution, whether people like me and my colleagues, some of whom have some pretty scary skills, should abide by those rules. Never question.
a fucking threat?
That's what I took it as when I watched it. I was like, well, what the fuck? What do you mean?
We're not
That
allowed
is-
to disagree on this washed up spook's definition of democracy, because if we do, then he and his very dangerous buddies with all the skill sets will just subvert. You got to subvert it to save it. You got to overthrow democracy. Yes, steal the will of the people because the people are too stupid. So we have to, we have to decide for them. Actually, the global order's definition of democracy was very much in dispute. It has been rejected, and also it was failing, which is why we needed COVID-19 and the Great Reset. They wrote about.
Good point.
Right? They were trying to manage the decline and reboot the Great Reset, the next iteration of global governance, and keep themselves in power. Trump is systematically dismantling that. They see it as a massive threat to democracy, but only because they've redefined democracy to mean global communism. But then again, maybe it always did.
Yeah.
Question. So we're not set up for it. And it is, it's funny. I'm going to steal your quote there, because it's one of the reasons there is a steady state, because up until now, we meaning national security veterans, people who've spent their career, don't want to get involved in domestic politics, don't want to be, maybe we go off and teach, some of us go off and play golf, but basically we're pretty confident that the system will continue puttering along. The CIA will do its thing, the FBI will do its thing, all within a ecosystem in which everybody's sort of buying the rules. Right. And that doesn't exist anymore. I don't even remember when I was at the agency when we switched from Bush to Clinton. No, Clinton to Bush. It was like a non-event. Like, yeah, there's a new president. Okay. I do remember, like, Bush apparently had a different schedule for his PDB briefing. It was going to be either earlier or later. Like, the big issue was like, are we going to be able to accommodate going down to the House at a different time? We're going to have to change all the car schedules. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that there was really no difference between the administration of a Democrat and the administration of a Republican, because the bureaucracy just always shifts sides underneath, because the political layer of the government is meant to entertain the people. It's a non-event when it changes. It doesn't really disrupt anything. And along comes Trump, and he actually wants to do stuff. Can you believe this? CIA guy says this guy came in and he wanted to do stuff. How, like more than change his schedule? Are you kidding me?
He admitted by saying that they're all in the same big club. Like, when you watch that, nothing changed. Just the schedule to pick up the president, just a different president. Like,
yeah, because elections are fake, guys.
Look at his face right now. Look at what it's paused at. He's so confident that we are always in control and we always will be. But yeah, it's not. There's a new man in town. He's also admitting that in the stream. So this is a
I know. That's why I wanted to play this, because the admissions are off the charts, and he's really like giddy about it. Like, oh, we're gonna do it again, guys. Hold the fuck on.
That was it. So it was a little bit. You really put your finger on it. And that's one of the reasons the steady state was created. So it dates back to 2016. It wasn't even called the steady state there. Trump gets elected.
She was never supposed to lose.
And I was out. A lot of people had been out. We'd aged out. But there was a core group of people who had worked together. A lot of us had worked Eastern Europe and the Balkans, and that happened to be a period of time where the agency and the State Department and NSA worked together really well. I think it's a proud period of American history in terms of the sort of how the apparatus worked, and we were really concerned. And we decided to get together and offer our help. So we created the steady state. We didn't even have a name yet. We offered our services to the new incoming administration, first to Michael Flynn, who didn't respond, then got fired, and then to McMaster, who didn't respond. And then we sort of faltered a little bit because people started hearing that there were blacklists of people who were not supporting the president. And our people were still young enough, so some of them were thinking of going back in at some point. Some wanted jobs, and we had some who were old enough that had kids who were now working in the national security community. And we sort of ran out of steam until the breaking of the Ukraine scandal. And that hit close to home with a lot of our people. We worked, all of us had focused on that area of the world, specifically on those countries, and the outrageous behavior that was becoming public, essentially extorting a foreign leader for political gain within our democracy.
That's what Biden was doing.
So I mean, doesn't that is he's talking about the phone call?
Yes.
Right. Remember that? I was just talking about this with someone. I can't remember who I was talking to, but Ghost and I were talking on the phone earlier today, and Adam Schiff stood on the floor of the House, and the fact that was known was that there was a phone call between Trump and Zelensky. The demand was, we want the transcript. Those were the facts. Adam Schiff stood on the floor of the House and invented his own, made up his own transcript of how he thought the call might have gone. And this guy is acting like that's what was actually on the call.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you have Joe Biden openly talking about threatening to withhold aid in exchange for firing a prosecutor that was investigating his son's company. But that's not a threat to democracy. That's just good business.
Yes. Son of a bitch.
Well, son of a bitch.
Just unheard of. And we sort of decided that we had to pull up our big boy and big girl pants and take some risks. And we went really public. We created a website. We endorsed candidates. We spoke. We were just coming in. So we didn't do podcasts. Podcasts were weird and strange.
Yeah.
But we did. It was COVID, middle of COVID. And
they were weird and strange because they didn't figure out how to control them yet. And luckily, later on, we got a whole bunch of former intelligence officers that do podcasts now.
Well, now he's on this guy's can be podcast trusted now, right? Yep.
During the election, so we did do a lot of sort of panel discussions, spoke at schools, wrote op-eds and the like, and then Biden wins. What had gotten us
right. So the so do we think these were mutually exclusive efforts?
Of course.
I don't know what these guys were doing. I mean, we were just, doing all these podcasts and endorsing candidates and getting out there, writing op-eds and writing op-eds as I imagine former intelligence, 51 former intelligence officers.
Agreed.
Son of a bitch.
To actually come out of our shells was the concept that there was this existential threat to America that coming in the person of Donald Trump. It was enough to get us out of our safe space.
Because they didn't control him. This is how you know it's because they didn't control him. When Bush and Clinton to Bush, it's all a non-event. Roll over to Obama, it's a non-event. It's all good.
And he says it was enough to get us out of our safe space. It reminds me of hermit crabs hiding. And they're like, wait, we got to do something, Billy. We got to come out. And he's taking over the system that we've had in place for 100 years. Oh my gosh.
He's a threat to the system. He might want to change something in the system. Well, the American people want to change something in the system because the system is fucking the American people. And we would actually like to have our country back and to have the globalists who are in the name, the good, what is it? The full faith and credit of the people of the United States of America want us to go do all these forever wars and break the backs of the people of the world. Well, no, actually, the American people are opposed to that. Well, you guys are a threat to democracy. You're a threat to the system. You're a threat to the world order. The international rules-based order. He talks about that, right? The rules. We all follow the rules. The NSA follows the rules. The CIA follows the rules. Yeah, you write them. You write the rules. You write the rules with the appropriate loopholes that you need. Like the CIA can't operate on domestic soil unless there's a domestic agency attached. So there's really no daylight between the CIA and the FBI any longer.
Yep. And by the way, a safe space that in general is good for America. You don't want people with tradecraft skills involved in American domestic politics. Right? You want us to stay as far away. We think about clandestinity. We think about covert action. We think about all the things that the statute lets us do in covert action, including involvement in political doings overseas. You don't want us anywhere near that. So this was hard for us to say, this is bad enough that we're going to step out of the space where we normally should be and
legally are required to stay out of.
Do so. We're still nonpartisan. The term that I am increasingly using is post.
Because partisan is a thing. It's fake.
I like
So
you always just throw that out in there. By the way, isn't it the Smith-Mundt Act that made it so that our own country can make propaganda on our own soil? So it's just like
Modernization Act. So the Smith-Mundt Act prohibited it. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act relaxed the limitations.
Okay. All right. And that's what we're under still now.
Yeah.
So it basically
Partisan.
means that, propaganda could be running wild. And so he's admitting to that.
Yeah. Let's be
crazy.
honest. They did it anyway, even when it wasn't legal. But gave themselves cover. I apologize in the chat. By the way, if you're watching, jump into the chat in either Rumble or YouTube. The YouTube chat is a little less active, but the Rumble chat is it's a good time, and unique chatters is a metric that helps us. So if you drop into the chat and say what's up, say hi, I'm a unique chatter. We'll be like, what's up, dude? And it'll be great. Also hit the like button for us.
Because we're back, and we're back because the existential threat has returned worse than ever, more significant, and because we think we bring something specific to the table. First,
a bunch of stuff you're not allowed to do on U.S. soil. That's the thing. Like we all really take very seriously that that it's bad when we go in and overthrow foreign governments, and we execute our special set of skills to overthrow foreign governments. That's really bad. And so, we really, Trump had to be bad because Trump made us do it anyway. So it must be because Trump was really bad and not that we committed treason.
of all, we know what we're talking about. And we know what we're talking about from the perspective of what budding autocrats look like overseas. Most of our careers have been spent focusing on Trump equivalents in various countries overseas. So as we like to say, we've seen this play before and we know how it ends.
Right.
And this is tracking exactly what we've seen in places like Hungary and in Serbia, in Russia, and so on and so forth. And so that got us motivated, and we sort of came back. We were able to obtain some much needed resources. So we have a staff. I'm the executive director now. We have around 280 members. I'd say a third of them are former agency. A third of them are former State Department, mostly former chiefs of station and division chiefs or ambassadors. And for your listeners who don't know, the ambassador leads our mission overseas. He's the president's personal representative to a foreign country. An ambassador in that world is a big deal. The country team includes if there's a CIA presence, the chief of station in that country.
So
he basically just told you that the CIA were the only one involved. He just broke the CIA into 3 different categories.
Yeah. He said the State Department, 1/3. He
State
said
Department,
agencies,
the ambassadors. So understand what he just said. We had the ambassadors on our side. The people aligned with the CIA looking to overthrow the Trump administration had ambassadors on their side, maybe former ambassadors. They still have a ton of relationships in the region, in the agency, in the department. He's saying, oh, it's cool. We have the ambassadors. We had the president's personal representatives in the country in our side.
Scary.
That's treason. That's definitely a foreign component and foreign interest involved. I argue that globalism is treason.
Yes.
Because globalism elevates foreign interests over the interest of American people.
This is a 280 people with an immense amount of knowledge and experience that is relevant to this moment.
It's straight on relevant. And so we can bring to bear that expertise in a couple of very important ways. One is that we can say from our experience that what we're seeing here is not just politics. This is what we've seen. You should be scared is basically our message. That is
their message. I mean, it's so much honesty because that's what we said. Guys, they're using fear porn. They just want you terrified because when you're terrified, you'll beg them to solve the problem for you and then they'll do whatever they want because you asked them to. So our message, he's admitting it. Our message is be afraid, be very afraid, and beg us to come in and solve your problem for you.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. That was one of the dead giveaways when I watched this. And I was like, that's something I always run through my mind when I'm reading articles, when I'm taking in content and videos. What's the purpose of this person? What's the end goal that is coming across? He says in the end, I want you to be afraid. That is so not right. You don't want people to be afraid. You want people to think critical for themselves. So it right there is
Not if you're trying to govern them from the shadows.
Yep. Yep.
If you're trying to govern them from the shadows without their authority or consent, you just need to keep them penned down into fear.
So do the opposite, guys.
This is it. The balloon is second. We can help educate because, and this is, look, I'm really happy to be here with you, Jack, but I have an ulterior motive. People listen to you, and these are people who may not have intricate knowledge of the national security community and the 18 elements of the IC and the ambassador and country team and agent and officer, blah, blah, blah. Well, they got to learn this. This is a president who is the only good thing he's done that I can think of is he's forcing America to go back to school and learn about our own country and learn.
That's a great point.
How it works. And the media and increasingly people like you have an awesome responsibility here. It's not the old days where the New York Times and Washington Post just printed a story. Here's what happened in Germany or in Italy. You are the people who are responsible for that last mile of knowledge to get into people's heads so they understand what's going on and can be good citizens and hopefully.
Holy shit. I'm sorry. We're playing that again. And I think it's safe to say this Jack guy is agency.
It's not the old days where the New York Times and Washington Post just printed a story. Here's what happened in Germany or in Italy. You are the people who are responsible for that last mile of knowledge to get into people's heads so they understand what's going on and can be good citizens and hopefully save us. My hat's off to you. There's a reason we're all doing this. And there's a reason why this president is looking at your industry too. And I'm lumping you with all of the journalists in the media.
Sure.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but both you and I have to worry about what we say on this podcast. And we're both taking risks.
It's a little late for you, buddy. What was his name? Frank? Not right.
Buddy.
It's a little late for you because you already admitted to treason. Jack might have an out. He could maybe testify against you. That's probably Jack, what did this guy offer you? What did the other agency guys offer you in order to be their new mouthpiece? Because it's really frustrating for us in the CIA because nobody's listening to the New York Times and the Washington Post anymore.
Yes.
So really, really grateful for you, Jack.
Yeah,
also, that's why it's so important
the old times.
So important that you do what you do. You know what? That's why we do what we do too. Yep. That's why we do what we do too. That's why we play their own words and we point to how that aligns into the timeline overall. He admitted that he's been doing what he's been doing since 2016. Former CIA guy is admitting that he was doing what he was doing since 2016 with his other group, with his groups of country team and ambassador team and former officers in the agency. This is, I don't understand why they are. If the role was reversed and Trump administration aligned former intelligence officials were talking like this about the Biden administration, they would have never seen the light of day again.
I agree. Yeah, if you reverse it is not the same. There's the 2 tiers of justice system going on here. But you know what? I think, in my personal opinion, I believe these things are happening, and Trump's letting things happen so that we see for ourselves what the deep state looks like. People can't identify an enemy unless they actually see it reacting. This is a reaction. He even admitted to it. He's like, we had to come out of our holes because this was a threat to our system. And so, hopefully this will show people that the intelligence community is admitting they don't like who's in as president. They have people in places of power, like you said, ambassadors and former intelligence agents that are never really ever retired, by the way. They have their guys that they talk to. They get all the information they need. So, yeah, this is like straight up very aggressive. I like how you called it treason because now I'm looking at it. If one of us was openly saying we have a plan to take on the president of the United States, I mean, that's pretty bold. And yeah.
He's openly admitting that the will of the American people means fuck all.
Yeah.
He's openly admitting that if they don't like how we choose and somehow Like in 2016, she was never supposed to lose. The polling said 99-1 on election night, and everybody freaked all the way out. And then we got Russiagate, and it's the whole of government obstruction to the will of the people, the elected leader of the people. Right? We had whole of government obstruction to it for 4 years, and then we had COVID. In which they relaxed every standard of election administration and stole an election, rigged an election, and put in that demented corpse for 4 years. The so-called ruler of the United States, Scrotus Biden, and Otto Penn. I mean, really, right? It was probably the same cabal.
Yeah, I think Obama was really behind the scenes on all of that. I mean, remember when he grabbed Biden's arm? Come on, let's get off stage, Biden. I'm gonna push you over here. I mean, and he even admits to it. If I had an earpiece and I could be telling somebody what to do at the White House, I could be in the basement. Like, yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, man. That's. I think we'll probably leave it just in the interest of time. Leave that segment there. Again, the notes. It's the link is in the show notes. Thank you to the researcher on X for finding and unearthing and sharing that video. And we're gonna. I know that got everybody's blood pressure up. I can see it in the chat. Everybody's a little frustrated. I did promise that was going to happen to you, so it's it's kind of on you. But we're gonna make it better now by talking about Bill and Hillary Clinton. So, but before we do that, we have GART coming up. Yay. And everybody should come hang out with us in GART because it's a blast. And look at how cute we are. Wait, hang on. Yeah, Abby and I at Deadwood. Excited. Yeah, isn't this the last time I saw you? I feel like this is the last time I saw you. Yeah,
because we missed the last one, the one after that, and so this will be really nice.
Yeah,
I'm super excited.
On April 9th through 12th, 2026, we will be in Nashville. It's going to be so much fun, and you can see we have a packed set of speakers that are going to be on the panels. We're starting to design the panels now. We're going to start our virtual exclusive live streams where you guys kind of help us shape the agenda, and we have a lot of fun, but you can only join them if you have a virtual ticket. And so you should get your virtual ticket. You should get it right now at badlandsmedia.tv/event. You should get it before March 15th because on March 15th, the prices go up. So pre-sale is happening now. Get your GART virtual ticket, but that should be your second choice because your first choice should be joining us in person.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. But virtual is the next best option. Yeah, but in person we get to hang out. It's really fun.
Hang out. We get to we sing karaoke. We're gonna do line dancing this time. Christy, Brian's wife, is going to. Everybody knows Christy. I don't know why I'm defining who Christy is. Christy is going to teach us all how to line dance. Christy's a professional dancer, as most folks know. If you watch Alphas, you know that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely join us in Nashville in person or virtually. Badlandsmedia.tv/events. And looking forward to it. It's time for a GART, man. It's been too long. We need a GART. There's a
lot of distance between, especially for me. But this was about what, 4 months or something? Yeah. From the last one?
August. Well, since I've seen you, it's August.
Okay.
August to April is a way too long time.
Yep. I agree.
But it's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun to be together. This picture was taken like an hour and 20 minutes after I arrived in Deadwood, where I threw my stuff down and ran to find Abby.
Yes.
And then we did jello shots without Christy, and Christy got mad at us. So we won't do that this time. We'll all do jello shots together.
Those were good jello shots. That was good times.
They were good jello shots. So yes, everybody come to GART. GART's a blast.
Do it.
So fun. All right. Oh my gosh, I see my child is in the chat.
Do you want to do should I pull up Bill's deposition?
Let's ask the chat. What do you guys want? Bill first or Hillary first? We'll do Bill is 1, Hillary is 2, and we'll give it a couple seconds for folks to weigh in.
Each one of them is about 10 minutes long.
While we're waiting for people to weigh in, One with Cats left us a $20 Rumble rant. Thank you so much. Says loving the Ashe rants. Now myself using Ashe's pattern of speech at times. Oh, good. it can be effective and influential.
Let's make this a
So,
trend,
mazel
guys.
tov. I
Make it a
hope
trend.
it works out for you. Oh, also, shout out to Shelly, who sent me a discombobulator.
Oh my gosh.
Which I
That's
love
exactly
so
the
much.
way it should look.
Right? It is exactly. It's exactly how it just that is it. That is it. Oh, they want it's 1, 2, 3,
The hill dog
5,
or the
1,
bill
2,
dog?
3. It's a tie right now. Bill is irrelevant, EC says. Everybody wants Hillary first. Well, not everybody. It's pretty split.
At
but I
the
think we
end
got-
of it, I put the whole part where Boebert questions her about Pizzagate and Frazzleberg, which is great.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do Hillary first.
Okay, here we go. Let's pull this up.
Oh.
Hopefully.
It'd be a good time if you have it to take Peace and Calm from Tamarack Gardens. I refer to it as not evaluated by the FDA, but I refer to it as kind of a natural Xanax. Just calm you right down when you are watching Hillary Clinton do anything.
Take a big amount, right?
Yeah, I think it's badlandsmedia.tv/Tamarack for that one. All right, let's go.
Excuse me, can I interrupt?
I have
There are
another
photos that are being released.
Okay, now just so everybody knows real quick, there it is 4 hours long. So there's a lot of questions. I just got the really good spicy parts. And yes, it does start out with the leaked photos, but it's definitely a spicy interaction.
Of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's
So I would like
sake.
to understand how that's permissible.
Statement. In fact,
What was the question?
The person said I did post one, and then she loses her mind. Was it
So that
ABL?
was, no, I think that was Boebert. I'm sorry, I kind of missed.
Typical. That's my congresswoman.
And what she did is she took photos of it right before the hearing started and leaked it to Benny Johnson, and it was all over X. It's really funny.
Yeah. So there's no, we definitely want to make sure that everybody takes this seriously. So let's have the congressman use it for social media clicks. Smart.
If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's
So I would
sake.
like to understand how that's permissible.
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
and we'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation.
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
Okay.
Would it be correct to say that sitting here, you have no specific memory or recollection of meeting Mr. Epstein or Miss Maxwell at that event in 1993?
That is an accurate statement. In fact, when I got the subpoena, I was incredulous because I never thought I was in the same room with Jeffrey Epstein. And it was brought to my attention that he was very likely to have attended the White House Historical Association, but I have no independent recollection of that.
Okay. It has been publicly reported that Mr. Epstein visited the White House 16 other times during your husband's first term. He was signed in by different staff members and visited different parts of the White House. Broadly speaking, do you have any memory or knowledge of any other visits by Jeffrey Epstein to the White House other than the one we just discussed?
Not that I recall, but I want to be clear. That doesn't mean that, I didn't pass somebody in the hallway, that somebody didn't pop in, but I have no recollection.
Great.
Of meeting with him, seeing him, conversing
Plausible
with him
deniability.
in the White House.
Yep.
So I
I
don't
just didn't remember.
have any recollection
Didn't remember
at
eating that
all
baby.
that I knew he'd contributed to my
Allegedly.
campaign. And he did not contribute, as far as I know, directly, but then this indirect contribution to the Joint Committee, I don't recall that I knew it at the time, and I was, surprised to learn it in preparation for testifying.
So at this point, toward the end of your husband's presidency, how would you characterize your relationships at that point with Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell?
Non-existent.
Okay, this part is so interesting. I'm gonna pause it for just a second. Because I like feel like God will do little winks to us, and every now and then something might happen. So after they're questioning her over and over again with her links, do you know him? She's like, no, I don't know Epstein. Non-existent. And then her earring falls off. And it's just such a weird situation and odd silence. And I just thought that was, I don't know if it means anything, but it was just odd.
Moving
and it was
to
a clip
the
on.
period after your husband's presidency, again,
Well,
we don't
pause it again.
really have much of a record to work off of.
Remember, Kamala Harris had those earrings that were the pearls that were recording devices, or the inner ear devices. So,
well, that's the thing, is it looked really heavy when it fell, and it was a clip-on, and that's what I was like, what's going on here? And so I don't know if that's anything, but it just caught my eye.
Secretary Clinton, is your husband someone the committee should investigate?
My husband will be here tomorrow. You'll have a chance to ask him questions.
So my question is your husband someone this committee should investigate?
Ask and answer.
Apparently you are. You've subpoenaed him. He's going to be here tomorrow.
In your testimony before the break, you discussed why you believe President Trump should testify before our committee due to a, quote, pattern of behavior, end quote. You testified that a pattern of behavior warrants accountability. So I want to make sure I understand your standard correctly. The pattern of behavior you describe includes being held civilly liable, indictments, sexually deviant behavior, correct?
Yes.
In 1998, your husband was found civilly liable for sexual misconduct with Paula Jones and settled for $850,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
By your standard of pattern of behavior, should your husband testify before this committee?
He is testifying tomorrow.
On December 19th, 1998, President Clinton was impeached on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice, which directly related to his extramarital affair with Monica Lewinsky. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your husband was impeached for perjury related to sexual behavior, correct?
I didn't understand what you said.
Your husband was impeached for perjury related to sexual behavior, his sexual behavior.
He was impeached for several reasons.
yes,
And then was,
for lying to the American
acquitted
people
in the Senate.
about that.
And your husband flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 17 to 26 times, correct?
He made several trips with different legs on the trip, as I recall.
But he flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane
Yes, he
17 to
did.
26 times?
Mhm.
Were you aware that Secret Service was dropped on some of those flights?
That is not my understanding.
Where they were not on some of those flights?
That is not my
So
understanding.
your understanding is that Secret Service was on all of the flights that President Clinton was on?
That is
with
my
Epstein?
understanding.
So I'll ask you again, by the standard you just set, in your own words just now, does this standard apply equally to your husband or only President Trump?
I have said that my husband has been subpoenaed. He will appear. He will answer your questions to the best of his ability. But there is no evidence whatsoever of any connection with Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. And I think that that will be obviously apparent in the questioning.
What makes you so sure of that then? I mean, he's photographed with...
Objection
No,
is to speculate on something that's not
Yeah,
evidence.
it is so speculative. I mean, swimming in a pool, sitting in a hot tub, there are millions of people who do that without any improper behavior or certainly committing any crimes.
Do they get massages
I think
from
most
them?
of the men are like your husband that did anything wrong. Why were they being surrounded by young women giving them massages on Jeffrey's private estate or private plane? Are they all innocent then?
You know, you are making assumptions in your questions that have not been proven and I don't believe are provable.
Now that part I thought was interesting.
She
She's
said
very
it's
confident.
True. She said they weren't provable.
Yes. She's basically saying, you can't get me on this because you can't prove it. I mean,
because the evidence killed itself.
Yeah. Exactly. It's so terrible. But yeah, she's freaking evil. Freaking
In
evil.
past public statements, as in 2017 speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a
Sounds like
child
Gilbert.
sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry,
You're asking her about whether she's reviewed emails in
In
the
the
Epstein
Epstein files.
files
was relate to the wacky Pizzagate
You
scandal.
could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So
She's
excuse me,
commenting.
your
The
question
wacky
is
one.
about whether or not she has reviewed any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be.
There are connections to the language.
Well,
I'm
the
not talking
QAnon
about-
people believe there are. So
I don't know what QAnon
have at
people
it.
believe.
Have at it.
But you've accused certain parties, and I think even right now today, of promoting slow walking or information in ways that fuels conspiracies. In your view, did any Epstein-Maxwell related investigations or file handling pre or post 2019 contribute to or intersect with the spread of Pizzagate style theories about Democrat figures?
Objection.
I have no way of answering. That is the
Possible amount of
most
speculation.
ridiculously.
Have you or your representatives identified any Epstein file content that has been misinterpreted online to revive those claims? And what steps, if any, have you taken to clarify?
Again, object on the ground of.
I think that this is all very
Speculation.
reasonable.
Well, first of all, I don't follow the crazy conspiracy stories that are online. I regret that anybody does. I find it quite sad, but also disturbing that people would believe some of what is put forth, like Pizzagate. So I have taken no steps to review anything
Do you think
that might
pizza-
have any connection to something which I think is totally bogus.
John Podesta, your 2016 campaign chair, appears in some Epstein file contexts, social overlaps or mentions. Were you aware of any of the Podesta-related communications in the released files?
Can you
that have-
please provide examples or the evidence that you would like us to review or the exhibits that reflect that in
I
order
can-
for
I can
her
get-
to be able to
I
do
can
that?
get some
I mean,
exhibits
somebody
and
starts
pause
with
this
Will you
question
speak to
in the
that when you
meantime.
provide those?
I will get those, and I will skip that question until we can.
Generally, if she's aware.
Generally, she is asking if she's aware of specific information that is in the files that you all are relying on. Please provide the witness with copies of that material.
Doesn't know or has no recollection, she's welcome to state so.
We're also welcome to actually see the information that you're speaking
And
to.
again,
You're not welcome
representative
to
is
that,
asking
actually.
general.
I mean,
general
really,
questions.
I
She's
mean, I
aware.
expected a lot of interesting questions today, but Pizzagate was not on my list.
Well, buckle up.
It's okay. We're
kid.
asking all sorts of things here.
You certainly are. You certainly are.
We're just trying to get the truth out to the American people.
Well, that
and
would
get
be
some clarity.
very helpful.
Pause it for a
Are you
second.
aware of any file?
You watched this whole thing. Did they ask her about her, like the cell phones and computers and stuff that were destroyed?
No, I don't think so. I didn't watch. I watched like the beginning. I kept on skipping to the main parts. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so I can't say I watched the whole thing. However, wouldn't that be nice if they did?
Yeah, I would hope they would. It's been the substance of many a congressional committee, the destruction of evidence by this woman and her staff, and so I would hope that they would have asked her about that.
And that's the whole idea of Russiagate. That was all started because she needed a distraction from
Yeah.
that. And so, yeah, that this is a
And who
interesting.
can I just who is writing Patriot Barbie's questions? Like, come on, drop a meaningful question that isn't a weave in and of itself in the question. Patriot Barbie is referring to Lauren Boebert, and she is my congresswoman who is meant to represent me. So I am allowed to be pissed about the level of representation that I am receiving right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna play the rest of it.
That were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled insurance, life insurance, with a zip file titled
Excuse me,
frazzle.
I'd like the chairman's,
This is way
I'd like
outside
the
the
chairman's
scope.
ruling.
This
Is
is
this
way
within the
outside the
scope?
scope.
Is this within the scope, Mr.
If
Chairman?
the chairman rules that it's not within the scope, I
Mr.
have
Chairman,
other
based on
questions.
what you said in the public hearing, is this within the scope?
We can go off the record for a moment. to
Mr.
confirm
Chairman,
the
is this
chairman
within the
will-
scope?
We'll go off the
We'll go off the record and consult.
Okay, and that's literally when they come back after that. So that's the end of the clips I did. When they come back after that, they do not talk about that again. So what she says is frazzle drip, and they're like, is this on the
They
record?
freak
Is
all
it
the
on
way
the-"
out.
Yeah, they freaked out big time. So they didn't want to talk about
So,
it.
but they were asking if there was the existence of that file, right? That's what it sounded like the question was to me. Is does the on Anthony Weiner's laptop, right? Was it on Anthony Weiner's laptop? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a file called Frazzle Drip on the website on that laptop? And are
Well,
you
the
aware
file
of-
was
Can you
titled
play that
Life
part again
Insurance.
before they freak out? Can you just play that part of it again?
Yeah. Can we pull it up here?
Are you aware of any files that were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled insurance, life insurance, with a zip file titled Frazzle?
This is way outside the scope.
ruling.
This is way
within the
outside the
scope?
scope.
Is this within the scope,
Yeah.
Mr.
If
Chairman?
the chairman rules that it's not within the scope, I
Mr.
have
Chairman,
other
based on
questions.
what you said in the public hearing, is this within the scope?
We can go off the record for a moment.
Mr. Chairman, is this within the scope?
We'll go off the record
and can talk.
They
Yeah,
sure get
so that
really
was the
upset for
story.
something that's supposed to be a crazy made up conspiracy theory that doesn't exist. That was a lot of outrage
I agree.
for just confirming whether the file existed.
Mhm.
That which she is, I mean, I think obviously going to say, no, I have no recollection or knowledge of that, because that's how she's answered every question. So obviously she appears to be, based on the information available and the information that's in the public sphere, she appears to be lying.
Yep. Yep.
Under
The
oath
reaction is
in a
everything.
congressional hearing.
If it was nothing, they'd be like, do you know the existence of this file and the zip file called Frazzle Drip? She's like, I don't know. Oh yeah, I heard it's a conspiracy theory. I mean, no, they were straight up like,
Yeah, they freaked out.
So that was a giveaway right there for sure.
That response did not match their assertion about what the whole realm of that theory is, right? The Pizzagate and all of it. And she doesn't know Jeffrey Epstein, and she doesn't know, all of these things. Just deny. But when asked to confirm if she had knowledge of the existence of a file, not what's in it, not what does it say, and it says a horrible thing. If you don't know, enjoy it, because it was a simpler time. Before knowing what that is a simpler time in life.
Yep.
But the existence of the file, they all freak all the way out. I don't know. Maybe that's a normal response, but it seemed asymmetrical in terms of the response to the stimulus. So
I agree. There was a lot of, back at that time also, I remember was during a hearing of some kind, they had the head of Google, and I think it was Jamie Raskin, the guy. Crazy. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
He went and asked him, he's like, so what is Google doing to keep this frazzle drip from going around? And what are you doing about disinformation? And this is very, very scary that this is going around, and you should do something about it. I have that. I remember going, this is so obscure, because everything is going on the internet all the time. False claim to this and that. Why was frazzle drip this huge priority for him to tell Google to get off the internet? Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
And it is a horrible thing, right? So there's a tiny sliver of me that could believe they just didn't want that allegation out there. Can't really do that in a free speech society. But again, we don't have a free speech society. And they've been censoring us. When we just watched washed up spook guy talk about, his censorship efforts since 2016. Just as because I love my country and democracy and stuff.
Democracy. Fighting communism.
All right, Bill.
Yeah.
It's about 10
grab
minutes too,
it.
right? I think we'll be in good shape,
He's
yeah.
Now it's funny. People are saying Bill is kind of not relevant, but in my take, this is way better than Hillary's, because Bill is like, he's not as tight. He's kind of an older man. He's a little loose. He gets lost in his memories. And so things.
Okay. So Ghostsmith 801 sent us a $10 Rumble rant. Thank you so much. Ghostsmith, saying Hillary is throwing Billy Boy under the bus. She did distance herself from any knowledge of his goings on. Right.
Yep.
So that's a fair point. And thank you so much for the rant.
First question I have for you, Mr. President. Have you ever lied in a deposition?
No.
Have you ever lied while under oath?
No.
Thank you. Were you personally aware that Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times during your presidency?
At the time it happened?
Yes.
No, at the time it happened, I was not.
Do you know, so Jeffrey Epstein never asked to meet with you personally in the White House while you were president during those 17 visits?
So he tried to drink it once.
Knowledge.
Would you know who he was meeting with?
No.
Tried to drink it
Okay,
I
twice.
didn't know he was coming.
Is that standard protocol for the president to not know of someone who is attending, visiting the White House 17 times?
So wait, excuse me, just to be clear.
While you were president?
The White House office, which has 1,600 employees, you're speaking of the White House office.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I think that most presidents don't have a clue who's coming in every day unless it's somebody of personal interest to the president.
That's true.
Yes, and you did have a familiar relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, correct?
No, I didn't. I wasn't aware I'd ever met him when I was president.
While you were president. We are trying to establish if Jeffrey Epstein was a foreign
that's the fourth
or
time he's trying to
potentially
drink.
even a domestic asset of some kind.
That man have a
Do
sip.
you have any reason to believe that he was trying
Okay, got
to
one.
seek access to classified materials, intelligence reports, or sensitive government
That's a good
information?
question, Lauren.
No, I knew nothing about this story until it came up. I was glad to see that picture of the
Yes, and
felony
Mr. President,
passport.
sorry to interrupt you. Mr. President, since knowing Jeffrey Epstein and knowing that he had visited the White House, were there any conversations from your associates, any White House staff, or anyone familiar with the meetings that said he was seeking detailed information about government relationships?
Does that question relate to back in the day or now? What's the time of the question?
I'm asking, since you have been aware, any time since after you are aware that Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times, has there been any conversations with anyone that you are aware of that Jeffrey Epstein was seeking sensitive government information?
She's asking to the best of your recollection.
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And moving on, at any time while you were traveling on any aircraft owned, leased, or otherwise affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein, did you engage in sexual relations or sexual activities with anyone other than your wife?
No.
Wow, was it
During any
believable?
such flight, did you witness or have knowledge of any other individual engaging in sexual activities with any female passengers?
No.
In 2002, you participated in a 10-day multi-country trip to Africa while traveling on a Boeing 727 owned by Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. This trip was organized by Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you recall this trip, Mr. President?
I recall the trip, but I don't know that it was organized by Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe we were going places that I needed to go for my work in Africa.
Yes, sir. Internal FBI
Okay.
records
Pause it.
describe the aircraft as having a section with couches adjacent to which a slide.
Okay, I remember the trip, but it was for work. See, I was on Jeffrey Epstein's. Jeffrey
I don't remember
Epstein's
who set
plane
it up, but it was for
for
work.
work. And I was just going for work, like the Clinton Global Initiative. Is that what we were doing? Because that's what Anna Paulina Luna said at that press conference, is that they know they have definitive proof that Jeffrey Epstein was instrumental in the Clinton Global Initiative. Is that the work? Oh my God, that was so fun. No, I was just, I don't even know, Ghislaine, maybe, but I don't know. I was just going for work.
Sliding glass door leading to another compartment. There was a bed. Are you familiar with the layout of this aircraft that you traveled on?
I'm familiar with the fact that there was a bench that turned into a bed at the end of the passenger seats.
And no other bed you are familiar with? Did you ever go into any part of the aircraft with a bed that you perhaps lied on or utilized?
I'm familiar with the bench.
Yes.
It turned into the bed.
Yes.
I do not believe I ever went into the back section.
Okay, and then at the very end of this, because I don't want to spill the beans, but at the very end of this, he kind of does answer that. So it's interesting that he doesn't say it here.
Spoiler
and then
alert.
later on it comes out. Well, it's a long round of things, but it's just like he just goes, well, I remember there was this bench. There was a bench there. It's just like slowly as it goes, it gets worse. So everybody knows it gets worse.
At any time while traveling on such aircraft, do you remember utilizing either the bench that laid? I'll keep it as one option for now. Do you remember utilizing the bench as a bed? Was it laid out as a bed?
Do you remember?
I don't remember, but that doesn't mean I didn't. I'm familiar with the note.
Yes, sir. FBI internal records relay testimony from Dr. Greg Bledsoe, who participated on the 2002 Africa trip. Did Dr. Bledsoe describe multiple millionaires? Dr. Bledsoe does describe multiple millionaires and billionaires on the plane. Do you remember any of the names of those individuals, potentially even the actor Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, Kevin was on the plane.
Oh, Kevin was there.
Kevin.
Dr. Bledsoe also he also describes multiple young women were present on the flights, and that Maxwell appeared to be in a position over the girls on the plane and was directing the girls. Can you describe the purpose of these women participating in this multi-country
Objection to the form of the
trip?
question. You have no objection to you asking the president what he saw, observed, heard, but he can't possibly speak to what Maxwell was in her mind.
Did you witness, Mr. President, Ms. Maxwell appearing to be in the position over other girls on the plane and possibly directing the girls?
Well, I thought that she was Epstein's top aide and that she was basically in charge of what happened.
What did happen, Mr. President?
I don't know. I mean, I've already told you this. I'll tell again. I never saw anybody do anything.
What did happen?
I thought they were flight attendants.
Oh, what?
Flight attendants.
Okay, hold up. Now this is when it starts getting so bad, because it's like, at first it's just like there was this bench and did you utilize and we don't know, but now there's Kevin Spacey was there, and thought they were flight attendants. So
I love that you said this. Like, he gets lost in his memories. You're so right. Like he's like rambling on.
No, I didn't put it in this one. There's other parts.
Bitchy attorney lady looks worried.
Oh, she is. Yeah. And there's other parts that's not in this. And you guys, if you watch the whole thing, you'll find it where they're showing him pictures and he's getting lost in the memories. And bitchy attorney lady grabs it from him. And she's like, no, we're not going to go there. Basically, she does not want him to get lost and say something he shouldn't be saying. Oh, that's crazy. All right.
Typically wear tank tops and jeans.
And give massages.
They
Do
don't
flight
all
attendants
wear
give
uniforms
massages,
on
Bill?
private planes.
Yes, sir.
Cue the
Most
cop
are
to hide.
dressed probably pretty business class. But
So
moving
wait,
on.
His testimony was, with respect to private aircraft, people are not wearing uniforms.
Correct.
They're not
For the
record.
16-year-old girls wearing tank
Dr.
tops
Bledsoe
and
described
jeans.
at least one of the girls serving as a masseuse. At any point, did you or other male passengers receive a massage from this young woman or any other young women who are described as a masseuse?
Well, I've seen one picture that shows that in a
Wasn't the question.
airport waiting area,
What can you prove? What can you prove?
one of the women was massaging my neck. That's all I've seen.
There was
Have you
Virginia.
received more than one massage?
She was. Who says, have you ever gotten a massage? Well, all I've seen in terms of evidence that you have is that one picture. That's all I've seen. That was not the question. The question was, how many times did you get massages? Well, I only saw that one picture. So once?
I know. It's so bad. And I love how you caught that.
Hilarious.
He is not answering. He's like, well, you should remember. Do you remember? No. It's just this one photo that I guess you guys have of me where she's massaging my neck. And by the way, that is Virginia.
Yeah.
So like, what the heck? Who's dead
And
now?
she thought she was a flight attendant, Abby.
Yeah, I guess. Right.
from these trips?
Pretty bad if this is the story.
With Mr. Epstein and the young girls that were present?
I don't recall them, but the problem I remember from that trip was that my neck had spasmed and I was and so they offered to help and I let them help. One left.
She asked whether or not you recalled any other massage
No,
trips.
I do not.
Thank you. Mr. President, moving on to my next question. Submitted to the record, we have a painting that seems to be of you, Mr. President, found in one of Jeffrey Epstein's residences wearing a, I would categorize it as a famous blue dress worn by the White House intern, Monica Lewinsky. And I have this image here. This image is being passed around. If we need to go off the record while we do that, we can.
I can take a picture. Do you have a question?
It will be
Yeah, I do.
marked as Majority Exhibit 15. Proceed.
Thank you. So, Mr. President, we are looking at an image of a portrait that is looks to be
so good. She showed him
Mr.
that
President,
picture
in this blue dress. Can you
All right,
describe
point
this
over.
painting? And
He doesn't need to describe the painting. You just gave him a picture. What's your question?
my question is, are you familiar with this painting?
For
Have
the
you ever seen it in
record,
person?
lady.
I've never seen it in person.
Do you know why someone would paint this?
Are you asking him to
Objection.
speculate?
That's calls for speculation. You can ask the artist.
And if I had known Jeffrey Epstein had this painting, it would have saved me this whole day.
Did you ever introduce Epstein to Monica Lewinsky or any other young
racial expression
female White House staffers?
I did not.
Did Epstein ever request introductions to young female intern staffers of you? Did he request you to introduce them? And one regarding this exhibit 15, this portrait, to the right of this image, there appears to be a plain letterhead document that is framed in a gold frame. Are you familiar with?
That he's testified that he's not seen this picture?
The painting we asked, yes. And now I'm asking about the image next to it. So
Are you asking whether or not he's familiar with what's in this small frame?
I'm the part that you have covered up.
This part?
I'm asking if he's familiar with this letterhead letter
There's no
that was
letterhead that we can
Is this
see.
part of the painting?
No, sir. This is next to the painting and it's framed on the wall in the home of Jeffrey Epstein. I guess a better way to ask, other than the birthday note that was passed around here today for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, Mr. President, did you ever handwrite Jeffrey Epstein any other notes?
Well, I wouldn't remember except that I've seen a picture recently of another note where I thank him for getting me away from the crowd on the airplane for a while so I could take a nap.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can take a nap. So that was the one thing I wanted to point to you guys. So remember how he was going away?
He went
Did you
away
ever
on the
utilize
airplane
it?
to take a nap.
Yeah.
Where?
Now we know he did utilize it, didn't he?
Did anybody ask that follow-up question?
No.
Son
No,
of
it
a
was just
bitch.
continuing.
What
Yeah,
is
yeah, I
wrong
know.
with these people?
I know.
Like, you have one job. I mean, I know that your number one job is doing photo ops, Patriot Barbie, but maybe a follow-up question when he impeaches himself, drive the point home for the record.
Yes. Yeah, but in general, I mean, I think that interview, that deposition was really damning. But just like Hillary Clinton said herself, she goes, well, you don't have the evidence, right? Just like how Bill said, well, you have, there's a photo of a lady who was kind enough to assist me with my neck problem. Like, they know that there might not be any evidence existing, but they're still freaking scared, especially Bill. He's just like the whole time. I mean, literally, he's just like
Listen,
about to drop that cup.
When we went from Bush to Clinton and then Clinton to Bush, it was a non-event when we changed over the government. Nobody was thinking about messing anything up because we owned them. I mean, holy cow. Just so lying, pain and penalty of perjury should mean something. Now, I know it often doesn't, but rarely ever does. Usually they just lie with impunity, especially if they are some sort of government official. Nothing ever happens to them, except when it's Steve Bannon or Peter Navarro or Tina Peters or somebody with the wrong political ideology, then they can get in trouble and they can go to prison for 9 years or 6 months or whatever it is, whoever they are. And so we know that we can apply justice. What we should demand is that we apply justice consistently because we have equal justice under the law. And that's I think the biggest problem that we have, the biggest barrier that we have to the golden age is that we cannot have a golden age until we have accountability for what has happened. It can't be, well, they got away with it for long enough, so we're just going to move on now. Because when that answer doesn't suit the regime, it's not the answer. Well, you get persecuted, you get punished over and over again. And that's how that goes. So, yeah. Sorry, guys. That's the show we have for you. We were going to do like robot bakeries and all kinds of fun stuff. But then Bill and Hillary decided to speak. So
there is something interesting, though. If there are the categories of the Epstein files that are missing that people have noted between the years, it's interesting. It's the same years that Bill is with Epstein and gone on those trips. If there is some behind the scenes things going on where at first they needed to get their depositions before those other files are released to catch them in, like we said, perjury, that might be what happened here. I don't know. But I do believe that I still have a lot of faith in Trump that these things these people will be held accountable. That does require some faith right now. I get it. But I do want that same equal justice under the law applied to whoever it is. Doesn't matter if you're a spook, doesn't matter if you're president, doesn't matter if you're a regular citizen. It should be the same for everybody. And so, and
yeah, my fear,
they're all old, and I wish this happened earlier. Like I feel like even if they get arrested, it's still not just. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So my fear is that these guys have so bought into the idea that the process is the punishment that they actually think that the process is the punishment, and so they're dragging them through this humiliation ritual, and then it's going to be like, well, they've paid enough. Nope, that's not how that works. There are statutes, and when they are violated, there are penalties for that. And you don't get to pick and choose, particularly when it comes to public officials. I wrote an article the other day about there's a local politician here who was caught violating the same statute as Tina Peters, also 4 felonies, also lying to persuade officials in an official act. And the distinction is Democrat versus Republican. And Tina Peters got 9 years, and the other lady, Sonia Lewis, got probation.
What?
4 felonies.
Are you serious?
Yep, I am.
Oh,
and
my
her lies were she forged 3 letters of support for herself because she had an ethics probe. So she was already in trouble for like violating ethics rules in the state Senate. And then in support for her ethics hearing, she forged 3 letters of support for herself. So you have 3 forged documents. And then, in my opinion, 4 members of a committee that she was trying to persuade, right? So 3 separate false statements, 4 people. With Tina Peters, you have 1 false statement that Jerry Woods was Conan Hayes. Conan Hayes was Jerry Woods. You have 1 false statement made to 3 people. That's 3 felonies and conspiracy to commit the same. In the Lewis case, you have 3 false statements to 4 people, which should, I would think, be 12 felonies. But they minimized it on the Democrat side and maximized it on the Republican side.
Damn, that's crazy. I think it's wild. That lady, you said she forged her signature for an ethics thing. If you're forging for an ethics, you know what I mean? There you go. You failed the test. You are not ethical.
That is
you
unethical. Yeah. So we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna play our outro because it's awesome, and then we're gonna raid you guys over to Baseless Conspiracies with John and Zach. Do us a favor, hit the like button because it helps us out quite a bit. If you're watching on X or YouTube or Pilled, also hit the like button because we makes us feel
we love you.
But especially if you're on Rumble, please hit the like button and drop into the chat and just say hi for a second because unique chatters is a metric that works for us. We will be back here next Monday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Because that's my time zone. That's the only reason I said that. Nobody anywhere observes Mountain Time. But 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on Badlands. And remember that change happens one conversation at a time. So be brave and speak the truth. We'll see you guys next time.
Amen.
As the expression goes, be careful what you wish for. In my former life, I was an insider as much as anybody else. And I knew what it's like, and I still know what it's like to be an insider. It's not bad. Not bad. Now I'm being punished for leaving the special club and revealing to you the terrible things that are going on having to do with our country. Because I used to be part of the club, I'm the only one that can fix it. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again. Because you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to take us out, and it's not going to work. Not going to work. Not going to work. It's not going to work. We're just getting started. The drug cartels are waging war in America, and we will destroy the cartels. You have no choice. That's an army. And I'll use Title 42 to end the child trafficking crisis by returning all trafficked children to their families in their home countries immediately. Never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom, because I will never let them take away your freedom. I won't. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they are not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in their way. I always will. And I will fully protect and uphold our great and very important under siege Second Amendment. We will protect. We will protect innocent life, and we will restore free speech, and I will secure our elections. We will secure our elections. If we don't, we are a country in trouble. Our goal will be one day voting with paper ballots and voter ID. Very simple. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school at all, pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the lives of our children. And I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. When I was coming down the escalator with Melania, I was already under investigation because they saw how well I was doing in the polls. And it just got worse and worse. And we caught them. We said they were spying on our campaign. It turned out to be true. They had the fake dossier. That turned out to be true. It was paid for by the Democrat Party. It was all fiction. All of these things happened. Impeachment hoax number one, impeachment hoax number two. I've been treated very badly. And I've won every single time. When you say, do I sleep? I sleep. I sleep. Because I truly feel that in the end, we're going to win. I think we're going to win an election the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. I don't think anything's going to stop it. Nothing's going to stop it. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.